what's going on. You know what's going down. You know what's going down. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to CLT FC Fan TV for the fans, by the fans. On this special night, we got a heavy host of people to talk some soccer with y'all tonight. To my right, hey, I got it right the first time. My partner in crime, Lee. Down below me, special guest from the club, the OG, I think still the original only, as far as I understand, Chief Fan Officer Sean McIntosh, hanging out, telling it like it is. Then, I almost got it right, our partner in crime, brother from another mother, all day, Jorge Gonzalez, top bid 90, bringing you all the info. And last but not least, he's been out there, he's been doing it, showing what the next generation can do. Much love to Kieran, a.k.a. QC Soccer Report, for coming in.
How y'all doing?
Hey.
We're good. Appreciate everybody joining in.
Yeah.
Before we get going, we got to give a shout out to the shipping department. We love the shipping department on this show, but me and the shipping department had a discussion at the Austin game, and apparently the shipping department doesn't watch the entire show. So I don't know how many more shout outs we can give to Morgan there. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, so thanks, Kieran, Jorge, Sean. Appreciate you coming on, man. I know we got a big packed night, right? So we can go ahead. Before we get talking about the Austin and the Houston game, man, let's just talk about this Americana night. Sean, man, fill us in. Tell us what's going on, what the fans can expect, the upper bowl being open, and all that kind of fun jazz.
Man, first of all, thank y'all for having me back. It has been way too long. I believe it was like 9 months ago when I started since I've last been on. So appreciate you. I know we get to see each other at matches, but always good to be on this show. And that's quite a video entrance you have. I mean, you guys.
Man, that's OJT stuff there, man.
JT, you're killing it. You're killing it.
All from the heart. All from the heart. Authenticity.
I love it. I love it.
That's one thing I'm disappointed in, Sean, man. We're not, you're just not dripping tonight, man. What's up with that?
I mean, I'm at home. I got my Charlotte FC gear on. I save the drip for match days.
Fair. So tell us about Americana
we're
night,
excited, man. Big game coming up. Obviously coming off the heels of a big 3 points on the road. Better way to get a little bit of a run here for what we all hope to be a big playoff push. We know it's a critical part of the season, but look, the monkey's off our back. I think it's a great way to celebrate that, give the boys a little bit of a homecoming. And look, we're opening up the upper bowl, which hasn't been done since March 5th. We know, obviously, that match was special for a number of reasons. And look, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot to celebrate here. So July 9th, this Saturday, opening up the upper bowl. It's going to be our Americana theme coming off the heels of July 4th. It's a mid-season celebration. We're at the halfway point. So good time for us as a club to celebrate, have some fun with it. We're always down to throw a party. So we figured around this theme, mid-season, great opportunity to open up the upper bowl. We know fans have been asking for it, so it should be a fun match. So we've got a lot of things going on pregame. So the pre-party on Mint Street.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, look, we know our supporters do an incredible job. They're going to be tailgating, so same spot as usual. That's always going to be the spot to go to, but a little bit more family-friendly entertainment taking place on Mint Street. So you've got a couple options for this game, hanging out with our supporters. Coming up on Mint Street, we'll have foam from a fire truck. There's going to be a lot of different activations there.
Girls wear the white shirts.
Hold on. Tia. Sean, I know you're running bullet points. You're like, we're doing this. Don't forget to mention this. But you're telling me on the Mint Street celebration where the kids are going to be, you're going to have some inflatables, stuff like that. But you're telling me a fire truck's going to be shooting out foam.
Yeah, man. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but it's going to be pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, look, there's going to be a lot going on. We wanted to make it fun. We wanted to try and do something a little bit different. We've got some creative stuff going on. Yeah, there'll be a muralist, an opportunity for our fans to engage, do some live artwork. So, look, it'll be fun. We wanted to do something a little bit different, like I said, going on the heels of mid-season Americana and open up the Upper Bowl. So
first road win, man. Everything's great about July.
What time does it start? I know it's like the official stuff start.
4 o'clock. That's when the party on Mint Street will start. So certainly encourage everybody to get there early. We're excited about the giveaway. I don't know if you guys saw. We released that on social today. Definitely, look, we want to give the people what they want. ... Damn it. They want Minty, so we're trying to find ways to give them Minty. We've got an exclusive poster with Minty dripped right on the front. We're excited about that one. First 10,000 fans will get that exclusive poster, limited edition. So if you haven't seen what that looks like, definitely check out our social channels. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, man. So Sean, there's a couple of questions out here. First off, you got to show us the shoes, man.
No shoes right now, bro. I'm at home. I go.
We're just bringing it to you. And then also, man, if you want to touch on Jesse Lingard joining Charlotte, man, we'd appreciate that too.
I can't steal Jorge Gonzalez's thunder. I leave all the exclusives to him. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's what's up. So with that being said, let's talk about the Austin game, right? 1-0 loss at home, which was normally our place, our fortress, the place where teams come and just hate to play us. Kieran, tell us what you think, man. How did the game go, and give us your breakdown on that?
I feel like this was a match within the first 30 minutes or so. I was very surprised of how well they were able to just keep possession of the ball and win back the ball in the middle of the park. But, of course, when it came to that final product, it wasn't there. But just being able to have possession in that final third was something that they were able to do very well. They had 200 passes in Austin's other side, in their side of the field, while Austin only had 96. However, when it came to just being able to make decisions in the final third, in my opinion, it was a lot of just individual runs to the top of the box. Like, for example, Brant Bronco's run. He settled for a shot at the top of the box where he could have passed it over to Ben Bender. But when we did have possession of the ball on the wings, it just felt like we couldn't really do anything on our crosses because Brad Stuber must have been like a human vacuum or something with the way that he was able to just keep possession of the ball and really commands his section of the field. But overall, the final product wasn't there. But we were able to keep possession of the ball, and we had that high-intensity, high-pressing style of ball that we've always had at home, and that really makes it hard for anyone to come and play at Bank of America Stadium.
That's exactly right. I would agree with most of that. Jorge, man, what do you think?
Yeah, just touching on what Kieran said, we held a lot of possession that game, I think 61%. But the problem, which has been the Achilles heel of this team most of the season, is just the lack of creativity, And I would have liked to see Yazviak take more players on the way he did the first half. Second half, like a lot of our wingers just opted to cross, and the ball went straight to Stu all second half. I think we were very dominant that second half, and I think Austin was very, very fortunate to go out of Charlotte with a result. And so, they've had credit to them. They've had things go their way. They've stayed compact defensively, and they got a result, which at the end of the day, that's what matters to them, Looking at the table now, they sit second in the West, To them, they're not really going to care how they got the result, but the fact is that they got it.
That's it, right? They're second in the West, and they're challenging pretty hard over there. So, good job to them, right? Second season. I feel like we're kind of following them in their footsteps, though, in a little bit, right? The first year, they had games where Stuver kept them in, where we got Kalina that kept us in most of the games or some of the games. And then the fact that, they didn't make the playoffs, which we will. Mark that right now, man. July 6th, we're going to make the playoffs, right? Lee said it here first on this show. And then, this year they're just kind of finally clicked, right? And so it's good to see. I don't feel like they outplayed us by any means. And Sean, what do you think about the game, man? What do you think about what happened to Austin?
Yeah, look, I saw somebody's comment. Austin Brady mentioned it being a lot like the home opener, a Worldie made the difference.
100%.
There's definitely a lot of similarities. I don't think it's 100% even comp. I think the big difference in this Austin match in comparison to when you look at the Galaxy one was I don't know that we probably weren't the better team against the Galaxy. Like, it did take a Worldie to beat us, but look, we didn't play great in this Austin match, but we certainly played better than Austin. Like, they didn't come here and outplay us. So, frustrating for sure for anyone, like from staff to fans, like, to walk out of that one without the 3 points. I think that shows the growth in a team like Austin being able to come in and not play great and walk out with 3 points. But I think for us, it shows a lot of things. Like, we know as an expansion team, like, it's always going to be a work in progress up to 1 point, like mid-season change and manager. So he's got to be able to integrate some new things on his standpoint. So you're going to look at checking off boxes, like, in terms of growth. And when I look at that Austin one, absolutely, like, I leave upset, to not walk away with points, particularly when defensively you hold Austin to nothing. But I think you can look at that and say, like, we're making progress. And obviously we're retroactively speaking about this game when we know what happened in the next match. So you can see some of that progress come to fruition. But I think for me, that's been the really positive things, really buckling down defensively, making sure we're set there. Cause that's got to be there. Like, you've got to be able to stop people from scoring. We know the frustrations in attack, but I think we're seeing a lot of that. There was some good things in the second half and certainly some good things in the first. You talk about Joswiak, like, I thought he had a pretty solid first half, and he showed some really great moments, beating his defender and attacking and being aggressive. Like, you hope some of those crosses improve. And I think we've been able to see some of that improvement from this match to Houston. But look, I certainly walked away from it frustrated, not getting the 3 points, but I was pretty pleased with some of the areas that we've been able to improve on too. So.
Oh, 100%. I mean, every game we seem to improve somewhere, right? I mean, the crosses, that's a whole nother discussion, but there's been another week in between there too. The fact that we lost to Austin and how bad Jorge and I got trolled on the webs. That was.
How much have you bought the jersey, the kit?
Yeah, money. They wanted the black mint jersey, the We Are Austin TV boys, so I ordered it for them. Arrival date December 26th. So that's
Fanatics,
huh? That's straight from the MLS store, man. Because
But the truth, how much, Lita? How much did it cost you?
I don't know. How much is an authentic jersey? Like $160 or something?
Jesus, man.
Oh,
yeah.
That's some bullshit.
That's all right, man.
send the receipt to Sean and he'll work it out with the club.
Yeah. That's where I'm going with that, man. That's why he's on the show tonight. He doesn't know it yet. We're gonna put him right here. We're gonna blast him on live streams and get.
That's why I didn't show up for 9 months.
Sean, that's what you call the long play. This has been a long play.
Yeah.
With like the final third, especially bringing up Jaws and Josiak, is the idea that he's there, he's in position, and he did it. I know we're not going to the Houston game yet, but just not being. He's able to finish, but it seems so frustrating that we're kicking all the balls either off goal but to have that amount of possession and to come away with a loss, not even a tie. I think as me always representing the newer fan, it's like, holy shit, we had 70% possession, especially in the second half, and then we lose 1-0. It's like,
I mean, that's the beauty and the curse of this game.
I know.
It's one of the few sports where you can come out of it knowing and feeling like you were the better team, outplayed statistically. You can look at it, but throw it all out the window because, it takes one moment of brilliance or one moment of just horrific luck or stupidity to obviously change the course of an entire game. And so that's the sport we all love. It's not
100%, right? I mean, just look at the World Cup qualifiers, right? I mean, the real good teams made it, and other teams didn't. So we'll just leave it as that, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at what happens in finals and when trophies are on the line. It doesn't matter who you have on your roster.
You're going too far now, man. It's supposed to be friendly banter.
I don't know if you see that. It's probably you've probably never seen one of these behind me. They're actually celebrations of when my country has won a trophy. I can zoom in on them, but there's a couple World Cup front pages. There's a couple there's a Euro one back there.
Yeah. So you're getting carried away again. This is why it took 9 months to get you back on here, man. We have to talk offline about this.
Easy, everybody. We don't want it to be 9 months again.
It's Kyle's 87's comments where he said that like there's been very few times this year where we've looked out of class. I think that's really true. I can only think 1 or 2 games where like we just didn't look competitive. I mean, even under Latanzio, you got to give the guy a lot of credit. It's still an inaugural team. The head coach just got fired, and we've improved, right? I mean, every game that we've played under him, I haven't felt like, okay, like we're about to get ripped apart, right? Even against Montreal with missing over 10 players, we still look competitive. We could have still gotten a result that game. So I agree with him on that aspect. We've been competitive from the get-go, and I mean, that to me is already progress, right? What I'd like to see the club do is maybe add a player this upcoming window to actually challenge and stay within those playoff spots.
100%. And Sean's going to break some breaking news of a new player signing by the end of the show, I guarantee.
Let's go.
Sorry, Karen. I'll get you in real quick. So if you want to enter the drawing tonight, it's #freedom since it's Americana night. Basically, Adam's been kind enough to say whoever wins gets to choose whatever they want out of his portfolio. So if you're not already following Defend the Queen QC, then you should. And appreciate you, Adam, for everything you do for the show. So you were going to say, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess the probably the most disappointing thing about this match, like you said, we controlled possession, over 60% possession for that match. And this was coming off the heels of that 2-1 loss against CF Montreal, where we really felt like we were in that match, and yet we had a third of our squad out. So going into this match only a few days after with a full strength squad, we really probably should have done better in that match. And in the end, it took a Daniel Pereira absolutely a wonderful golazo to be able to beat our back line. But with all those players coming back, we felt like we should have and could have done better.
Yeah, I feel like we did definitely. That seemed, at least on paper, one of our strongest teams that we put out so far. So it's
I wouldn't have changed anything about that starting lineup. That starting lineup was perfect, and I must give credit to Latanzio for bringing Anton Walks back in the picture, because that that opens up so that Fuchs could be on he could be put as a left back, and we still have Guzman Carujo as a center back, and Anton Walks. It's not like this is some fringe MLS player. This is a player that started many times with Atlanta. So having that Walks Carujo partnership, then Fuchs as a left back, and also right back, we have Awful. I felt like he was wonderful in that match, but I would like to see him link up with Jóźwiak a little bit more. Jalen Lindsay, he also is a wonderful prospect who has started many times for us. Overall, I feel like our back line for the most part is quite solid.
I feel like with Walks being in there, I feel that we have been a lot stronger in the back. I mean, Carujo is definitely my. I keep saying he's becoming my favorite player. I'm just going to say he is my favorite player at this point.
Oh yeah, he's got to be an all-star, right? Like,
yeah, he's got to be, man.
He's been wonderful in 1v1 transition scenarios. He's just been wonderful.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people agree with us, right? That Walks is definitely seeing them guys to link up, right, and actually just learn each other's play. It's been fun to watch. So yeah. With that being said, let's not talk so much about Austin, right? I think we need to talk about Houston, right? We have a problem. Houston has a problem.
Oh boy.
We get with Charlotte, right? So a nice 2-1. I mean, it could have been 4-5-1 at least.
Yeah.
Jaws, you missed an easy goal, bro, man. I hope you're seeing this, but we love you and we appreciate it. So
he's in the position, man.
Man, he could have scored. He could have scored. Jorge, man, break down the Houston game for us.
I mean, I think one of the things that Latanzio talked about and the players talked about post Miguel was bringing intensity. And that's something that we saw from the very first minute against Houston. I mean, although we missed, I want to say 4 clear-cut chances. I think Shinyashiki missed one. Gaines missed one at the end. Yazviak missed 2. I was happy that the team was creating. And at the end of the day, I'm happy because we got the favorable result, which was a 2-1. I would have been very, very upset if we had not gotten those 3 points because, one, this was a very crucial game because if we lost, a lot of teams around us have games in hand. And if we would have took another loss, I would have said that would have put a big dent into this team trying to make playoffs. So that's the most important thing is that we got the 3 points. Secondly, the way the team played, it was I want to say a continuation of the Austin game, but with more improvements, and that's on the creative side. I think the lineup was credit to Latanzio for being bold and putting in Quinn in there from the get-go. I mean, he looks like he belongs in MLS, and I think kind of like Ben, like people need to set their expectations. Like, okay, like this is a player that we can use. Don't overhype the guy. Don't underhype the guy. If he doesn't have a great game next time, don't kill him. I feel like some of our fans are very reactionary to a lot of players. And so I think it's a guy kind of like Ben that we need to continue to work with, give him minutes and see him improve. And I think Yordi Reyna as well, man. Yordi Reyna, the very first 5 minutes.
Right? He was on it.
Yeah.
He was wonderful.
In the first 5 minutes of the game, you will know what kind of Yordi Reyna you will get. A guy that's either going to make be a difference maker, or is not going to be interested. If he was just a little bit more consistent, it's somebody that I would always want in my starting 11.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Sean, real quick, man, do you know what a gaffer is?
A manager, a mister? Yeah.
See, I just throwing that out because me and JT argue about this all the damn time, So, yes, the new gaffer, JT.
That's fine. All I'm saying is if you grew up on the coast, a gaffer is someone who has a huge hook that pulls in the big fish when you bring them up to the side of the boat if you're offshore fishing. Anyway, Lee.
Yes, I want to give a shout out to my boy Christian Mendoza, right? This fella right here is the guy that dropped $200 on Charlotte winning at Houston. And me and Christian go way back, right? So, the fact that he was willing to put $200 on, I think he won like $700 or something.
Hey, all right, Christian, you owe me a beer next time I see you, bro.
He said, if you see him out of the stadium and you call him by his name, he will buy you a beer. So all I'm going to be doing is hollering Christian Mendoza for like 90 minutes.
Can you zoom his picture in, his thumbnail?
Hey, John, who's the one that does the announcements at the stadium? Let me go in that room and say Christian. I give him a free beer.
That's right. Yeah.
I want to say something, though, to add to some great points from Jorge about this Houston match. First, I'll say, fantastic, thrilled. We had to come out with 3 points against my former club. Couldn't be happier that the first 3 points on the road comes against them. But I think there's a couple things. One, obviously, we're all happy. It was evident. We saw the difference in attack. But one of the things that I think is really, really important was the mentality, the grit when things could have went awry, right? Like we give up a goal, another questionable refereeing decision to call that as onside, which for a young team up against its first battle to find a way to close out 3 points on the road could have very easily buckled under that. And there's a lot of time left on the clock. And so for me, when I looked at that up against it, knowing that they needed 3 points on the road, knowing that there was some missed opportunities, came out and closed it out, really just gritted that one. So while we can be happy with a little bit more expansive play and, some of the fun attack, I think for me, one of the things I looked at was how are you going to close out really tough situations when your backs are up against the wall. And for me, you got to give hats off to obviously the way the team prepared, their mentality, and for just closing this one out. It didn't matter how, you had to come away with 3 points. So for me, that was big.
Yeah, and to your point, Sean, learning how to win. again, I always say this whole season is house money because it's, inaugural season, all that kind of stuff. But to have most people out together with some newer pieces and everything, but first win ever away, knowing what that feels like, and to your point, we're up 2-0, and all of a sudden it's 2-1, and you're thinking, and that's plenty of time on the clock. And I was thinking, well, just as long as we get away with at least 1 point, okay, give up another goal, just don't lose it, was my mentality as a fan. But then for them to be like, the hell with that, we're just going to lock it down and still win this and get the 3 points after the disappointing loss to Austin at our home. I just love the idea that they're learning, whatever, they're building the culture. It's just, check it. It's a great thing to see them learning how to win away.
Yeah, there's a mentality you want as a fan, and I think that's what Lattanzio's building. And I think one of the things I love is seeing some of the faith and opportunities in those younger guys. We talked about Quinn McNeil getting to come in there, and a Yordi who hadn't had opportunities in a while to come out there to show faith in them. And again, in a really difficult situation, you're on the road. We know we want to get our monkey off that back, and to give faith to guys that earned it, put in shifts during training sessions, and to believe in the guys, I think has been absolutely big for this. And you can feel it, you can feel it around the team and around the club that there's a faith. And when you're down or when you're up by 1 and you give up a goal like that's questionable, you have every reason to sulk. I think that mentality bleeds through and showed up in a big way in Houston.
I'm not gonna lie though, when we went 2-0 up, they scored, right? I'm sitting back and I'm like, oh my God, this is typical lead teams, right? Like we dominate, we do whatever we got to do, but for some reason we screw up at the end. And it was just good to see that the goals that were missed, the opportunities I think were pretty easy to score that we missed, and we still pulled out the 3 points on the road, because I feel like Houston was starting to get back into the game right there at the end, and it was a little concerning for me. But again, the boys dug deep. We got the 3 points. We did what we needed to do. We came away with our first win. We got the monkey off our back. And, hopefully, right, JG?
I was just looking for the monkey.
Oh, it's on your back. It's,
Gone now.
Yeah. So, Kieran, man, tell us what you thought about the game, man.
Yeah, I felt like those last 15 minutes were probably some of the most stressful that I've had in terms of watching Charlotte FC.
100%.
I don't know if y'all agree, but I felt like for the most part it was 90% Houston on the ball trying to score. But if you look at the match as a whole, just highlight some individual performances for once. Sergio Ruiz, this man brought some of the high-intensity, high-pressing football that we'd see at home, and he brought it away, winning ball back in the middle of the park. I feel like I think that there were 2 chances back-to-back around the 27th minutes in the first half. One where he won the ball back, immediately gave it to Swiderski, who gave it to Yoshviak, who somehow missed it from what felt like point-blank range. And
right.
Also, Yordi Reyna, going back to Yordi Reyna, he had wonderful crosses, one in to Swiderski, header off the post, and one in to Yoshviak, who ended up crossing it in for that own goal. So those were the 2 players that I really was keeping my eye on, especially Sergio Ruiz, bringing that high intensity that we see at Bank of America Stadium.
I think we need to give a shout out to own goal though, man. He's becoming a big star on the team. I mean, even the Charlotte media team was posting some stuff where own goal said he was here.
I'm ready to get my kit. So.
Yeah. When's that dropping, Sean? When's the
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it won't drop. Own goal, I heard, was part of the deal for the GAM and the international roster slot that was traded to LA Galaxy. So
yeah. And this has been a battle too online, right? That Houston goal should have been offsides. That was a close one to call. I don't know.
I think Fuchs's behind played the Dynamo player on side, in my opinion.
So what was the call on the field? What was the call on the field? That's my big gripe. Was it was ruled offside, right?
The call on the field was offside, but I think in this situation of VAR, it's either are you onside or are you not. I think you have to draw the line with whether or not his arm. Well, I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head, but whether or not his arm was in the picture or not, and where you cut it in terms of what parts of the body you consider. I think he was on, but just slightly. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it had to be clear and obvious. It just you ruled it offside without that line technology. It's tight, Had they ruled it a goal immediately, then fine, you go to VAR. There's not enough there to really overturn it. But for me, it all came down to what that initial call was. You ruled it offside. I didn't see enough there to overturn it. But it is what it is. We know we haven't been on the receiving end of fortunate calls
all season.
Yeah. So it's again nice to see that it didn't impact the match, obviously, and that we were able to grit through that. But we hope we get a couple of them go our way.
I'll tell you what it is.
What is it?
Bullshit.
It is bullshit. That's right. That's it. It is bullshit. So let's grade right between the last two games we had, right? Because normally we have a game on the weekend and we do the show, then the game and the show, blah blah blah. But then they do the midweek. So what would you, out of like a grade level, I guess like they do in high school, right? A to F, right? So what would you give the team so far, Jorge?
Ooh,
the last two games.
I mean, playing wise, I'll give him a 7. Results wise, I gotta give it a 5, bro.
He said no, he's using letters. He's using letters. Come on.
Oh, are you?
1 to 10.
We're talking. So like you
think about hieroglyphics.
No, it's first language. We've already discussed this.
C somewhere in the middle.
All right, then I'll give him a C+. B minus.
Yeah, I'm looking for letter grades. I don't know, right? That's what the MLS gives us, right? Is letter grade. So I was just trying to fill in. Yeah.
What letter grade would you give Lee right now, Jorge?
I'll give him B minus.
B minus? How?
Jorge's always bringing the truth. Just bringing it.
Bro, that's why people like me. I'm saying how it is.
Going to study for it. Exactly, right? You're just hoping somebody else would slip you the answers. I don't know.
It can't be a B+, in my opinion, because we got 3 out of 6 points. You're telling me that 50%? Where in school, where in life have you seen 50% be good enough to be a B+? Please explain this to me.
I got this.
Explain this to me where 50% is
we're grading on the curve, Jorge.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh boy,
we're an expansion team. We're grading on the curve.
If you ever went to North Mac, man, betwing 90 and 94, man, everybody failed the test, so the teacher would just round it up. We'd all have
T.O. Let's just realize that Kieran is the only person on here who still gets graded. So Kieran,
get degrees.
You have more knowledge about grades. What do you think the grade was?
Look, if C was an average performance, I would give them a B for how well they were able to keep the ball. But I can't go any higher than that because of the finishing. So solid B for me. Yeah, like Jorge said, 3 out of 6 points. If that probably won't cut it when it comes to the later stages of the season when we're actually trying to get into playoffs.
Yeah. So Sean, what do you think, man? Can we ask you that?
I'd go B. For me, obviously, there's room for improvement, but I think you have to take context into play, right? Like you've got to take context. You got to take context that we played a road game, we played a home game. It wasn't a home game against a bottom seeded team. Like we're talking about a really good Austin club, and we still should have walked out of there with at minimum a point. So I think you have to look at body of work. You have to take the gameplay into account. 2 different things, how we played and results. I think it's a B for me. If we can play like this, if we can take the accumulation of what we played over the course of these 2 games and just extrapolate it for the rest of the season, that's a playoff team. So for me, I look at it as a B.
There you go, JT, man.
I agree with Michael right there.
Nah, because if I was BSing, I would say it was an A. It was an A. For me, I think
We're gonna.
I don't know what kind of schools y'all went to, but 50% in no school is a B.
Dude, in no school? I mean, if you didn't go to no school, that wouldn't be a grade at all, would it? I'm so confused right now. Anyways, just go to North Mac if you want to graduate, man.
in the spirit of summer and summer break, no class, no school, no books, no grades. All right.
This is a point.
Subject.
I know we were doing grading, but George's 3-0 prediction against Austin completely backfired, right? And yes,
what do you want? When I'm honest and I say we're gonna lose, I get crapped on. When I say we're gonna what do you want?
I want to stop talking about the Austin game.
You, man. I tell you what, screw the Houston game and the Austin game. Let's talk about the Nashville game, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to Americana night. So, Sean, you said there was going to be foam parties like out in Vegas and some other things going on, man. So, expand on that.
Fire truck shooting off.
No, man, there's just going to be a bunch of stuff going on Mid Street. Upper Bowl's open. You know, affordable tickets.
Upper Bowl
starting at $20.
$20 for the Upper Bowl?
Starting at $20, yeah. So,
Is it the entire Upper Bowl?
It won't be the entire Upper Bowl. So, I wouldn't expect March 5th.
Right.
But we'll have that Upper Bowl open. Obviously, we'll expand it if needed. But should be some great opportunities for people to come out, have a blast, pre-party, Mint Street. Look, we know it's a big match. I know everybody is afraid to throw out the word rivalry, and this is one the league is dubbing rivalry week. But look, we know there's some snippy Nashville fans out there, and they're going to be traveling with a little size group, and I think it would be nice to shut them up at home.
Ooh.
And it would be fun. Look, we know it's a big one, obviously. So
I had it in my notes. Is Nashville our other? I mean, Atlanta is always going to be the 85 rivalry, but is Nashville? We're going to try to set that up and culture that rivalry. And Sean's throwing it out there right now. They're going to have a little group coming by. We know they're a little bit. You didn't use it like not salty. I forget the word you used, but they're coming over. They're coming over the mountain.
I don't think they can be our rivals this season, at least, since they're in the West, right? But I mean, still we play them. But go ahead.
Yeah, we only played them once this season, them being in the West. But who knows? They might move back to the East with MLS expansion, all that. But it would be weird only playing it once this season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's a good game. I mean, like Sean said, I've already been talking to a few. There's a great guy from Nashville named Denzel that is on Twitter, man. He's a really cool guy, and he's going to be in town. So I can't wait to actually meet him and a couple of other faces. So to the Nashville fans that are coming through, you can come find us at the tailgate. We'll have beer, food, whatever you need, man. And as long as you don't wear them tacky yellow ass jerseys, we'll be cool. So,
what about after the game?
Oh, after the game. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's a Saturday night, man, in Charlotte. Where do they find us after the game to do family actions? It's outside where the new LED entrance is, or the supporters group. I forget the name. The actual.
He's like, hey, where am I going to be after the game?
Yeah, no, man, I don't go out after the game. I go home and go to bed, man, like a good old man. So
also, I wanted to send out a little bit of a PSA with this being a nationally televised matchup on FS1. It says that the advertised kickoff time is on 7 if you just check on a app, but it's actually going to be closer to 7:25 because of the way that FS1 does things. They want to make you watch the pregame show. So just heads up, kickoff closer to 7:25.
Damn, yeah. Hearing? Knowledge.
MLS though always does that, right? Kickoff is at 7:30, and they don't do like 7:38.
For nationally televised matchups, yes, at least.
Oh, Eastgate. Those Eastgate. That's where we are.
They do it for the Latinos. They know we're gonna be late.
What's that?
Yeah.
They say those times for the Latinos because they know we're gonna be
late. I mean, you heard it, right? As long as you're not Latino, 7:30 is the time, right? Apparently, or 7. I'm not sure. I forget already. So yeah, I mean, what do we need to worry about, right? This game, other than, we're at home, we're coming off of a loss at home after our win on the road. We kind of flipped the script for us this go around, man. So, what do we need to worry about, Jorge?
We definitely need to worry about a guy named Honey Mukhtar.
Oh boy.
I mean, probably another candidate for MLS MVP of the season. I think Nashville is a team ever since they've come into the league that's always been, I mean, they've made playoffs the 2 seasons they've been in, and right now I think they currently sit 6th on the West. So this is a team that's going to be organized and that depends on a lot of that creativity from Honey Mukhtar. So it'll definitely be an interesting game. Hopefully we can do something similar where what we did against Austin, not results-wise, but where, I mean, Drusy was non-existent that game. So hopefully we can annihilate their most attacking threat, which is Honey Mukhtar. And if we can do that and have a good game and actually create against Nashville, I think we have a good shot of getting a win.
Kieran, go ahead.
Yeah, just some players to look out for, like you said, Hani Mukhtar, 9 goals. He has 1 goal from the top goal scorer in MLS. Also, I believe it's Randall Leal. He's either a left midfielder or center midfielder. He has the most assists on Nashville with 3 or 4, something like that. And Daniel Lovitz. So those are players I'm keeping an eye out for.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, go ahead and have your say, man, if you want to.
Oh, look, they're just one of the better defensive teams in the league. So I think for us, that's going to be interesting how we're able to crack that. We hope to see a little bit more attack in the way we were against Houston, but this is a different level. Nashville's a lot better. So hopefully our home field neutralizes that a little bit. And, the guys are pumped and feel the energy and should have a nice crowd. So, I think and hope that's what makes the difference, but they're going to be a lot harder to crack than Houston. So, we'll see. I mean, look, it's going to be 2 really good defensive teams. I think we got to remember, like, we've got one of the best defensive units now, and our goals allowed now is starting to shrink to a point where we're up there in the league in a good way. So it'll be interesting. I'm going to be really interested to see what midfield looks like in terms of his selection, and if they're able to replicate what we saw in Houston.
Yeah, I mean, Pancake hits it right. Nashville's been pretty good on the road, unfortunately. So, but then this is the bank, though. So we never know what's going to happen, man. It's going to be interesting to see. Predictions. We can go ahead and do some predictions. So everybody if you want to drop your predictions in the comments too. So JT, man, let's start out with you, man. What do you think your predictions for the Nashville game is?
I'm trying to remember if I've even gotten one right this entire season.
Doesn't matter.
And I just said it. I'm a little, like look at the macro, the 30,000. I'm saying almost like Caden just wrote. I'm saying 2-0 us.
2-0 us.
Yeah, I think we got the momentum. I think the gaffer subbing people in earlier, figuring out the different lines, and again, we're just all coming back. Let's not forget Swiderski and Jaws and other people are out for the international break. I think we're going to have more momentum and coming back home with the newest way of playing so well together that it's all going to come together, and it's going to be lit. It's going to be a fun night in the bank. It's going to be a party. So that home field advantage, home cooking, as we call it here in the South, I'm saying 2-0.
I wonder if Christian's willing to drop $200 on this. What he just said, Jaws will get a goal finally. So
we're trying to get this man to have a gambling addiction. Relax.
That's okay, man. He owes me. Trust me, the amount of bets I've had with this guy and lost because he's a damn Chelsea fan, right?
His money.
That $200 was really mine anyways to begin with, so it doesn't matter. So, hey, look, the old man's watching. What's up, Dad? So, anyways, Jorge, what do you think, man? What do you think the score is going to be?
I think Charlotte will get a win this weekend, 2-1. I think we'll see Swiderski back on goal, and I'd really like to see Shinyashiki score as well. So we can post that video again of that Miami guy saying that we overpaid for him, which is hilarious because Shinyashiki mentioned it in the presser today, which was funny where he said, I saw a video of some guy saying that, Charlotte overpaid for me. Bro, we have gotten our money's worth out of that man. So hopefully he continues it.
Yeah, for sure. Sean, man, what do you think?
I go 1-0 us. I do think it'll be a tight game. I want to say Swiderski scores. I saw somebody in the comment section say Bronico scores. I also feel like that could happen. I think that would be the best
And
thing.
if Bronico scored, man, that whole stadium would be lit.
Yeah, I want to will that to happen. So
Yeah.
that I'm going to change my Swiderski goal to a Bronico goal in front of a really great crowd in a big 1-0 victory
on an Americana night. What
Yeah,
more?
right.
How much
Right.
more
It's all laid out for it.
than Bronico?
It is, right? It's all set up. Kieran, man, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with JT on the scoreline 2-0. I also agree with Jorge on the goal scorers, Swiderski and Shinyashiki. And just thinking about our recent results, yes, we lost 2-0 to Austin, but like we said, they're the second place team in the Western Conference. So to say as an expansion club that we're disappointed to lose to a team that second in the West, that's really a testament to how much quality we have in this squad. Now Nashville, they're sixth. I believe that for the most part, we're solid on the back four. We'll be able to get that 2-0 win. And I feel like Swiderski will be able to finally get that goal that he's been wanting. Yes, he's had a bit of a dry spell as of late, but you can tell he really wants it. He definitely looked very frustrated after that own goal that it wasn't him that was able to convert, but I think that he'll be able to get it. And Shinyashiki, his finishing ability has been top notch. He'll be able to get a second goal and keep his spot as the top goal scorer on his squad.
Can I say this too on Swiderski? Because I'm glad you mentioned obviously the own goal, but and I know fans, pundits, media, they'll forget about this because you always want to look at stats, but look, he played a hell of a match. And when he attacked that ball with two defenders on him to head it, obviously you want to see that go in, but that's
what
great
more can
work.
you do?
Yeah, that's great work on his part. The goal was his to have, had it not been an own goal, that's his goal. And then he has what shoulda, coulda, woulda been an assist. So, he did everything right on his part. None of it is going to be found on a stat sheet, but I think it's important for us to know, it's a hell of a performance. That's what you want to see. And in any other match, he's coming out of that with at least a goal, at least an assist at the bare minimum.
Yeah, I watched it again earlier, and literally I can't quite do it. But if the two defenders were not trailing him so close, and then he kicks it, and then it reflects off of them or deflects off of them, he made that happen. He was the reason it happened. He was in the right place it happened. And those two defenders coming in and the ball doing a pinball move and then going to the goal. You're right. It's not in the stat sheet, but I consider that,
I don't want to see any bull crap of he hasn't scored an X amount of games. You watch that game, the impact he had.
Yep.
Well,
and the hitter too. I mean, the hitter was right off the post. I mean, he's been in the right place. Seems like I'm looking forward in the whole Americana this whole Saturday in the middle of the summer, the hot heat of the summer, Bank of America Stadium. I'm telling you, boys, hydrate yourselves. I think Saturday is going to be on, and I'm telling you right now, Saturday is already an A in my book. I don't know what's going to happen, but the whole night overall, I'm giving it an A so far.
Is that a 90 or a 95 plus?
It'd be a 90. The scale would be a 90 to 1.
Okay.
So you wouldn't know anything about the A's, Lee, so I might have to get back in the C's.
Hey, look, C's and D's were passing, right? That's all that mattered, man. That's all that mattered. So I'm going to go with 2-1, and I think Walks and Guzman are going to score. So, that's my fact on that. So also, if you haven't entered hashtag freedom for tonight's giveaway, basically you get freedom to pick your own picture there that Adam does for us. And if you're new to the show, we appreciate it if you hit the sub button as well. And so let's have a bit of an open discussion. There's some comments I ticked off here. So here's a question, right? How do we think the Gaffer's doing as a coach right now, man? Anybody?
I think we've seen improvement in the team, and I think I mentioned it earlier. I mean, for this to be an expansion team, for him to take over from a coach that just got fired to 5 games in, we've improved. That says a lot about Lattanzio, and we got our first away win under him. We've improved defensively. We look better as well going forward. And My biggest thing, which I can't really blame him for, is the lack of creativity in this team so far. But I think he's done a great job in the 5 games that we've seen from him.
I agree. I can't say anything against him at this point, So, Kieran, what do you think?
I feel like defensively, he really likes his veterans with Fuchs. Also, Harrison Awful. I'm a bit concerned about that spot because Harrison Awful has been doing a wonderful job, but I would like to see him push up more to link up with Józsefik. I might have already said that, but I want to see Jalen Lindsey a little bit more under Latancio. But like you said, Jorge, I don't think you can really blame the lack of creativity on Latancio. And from your reporting, basically with all the player interviews, I think I remember reading that there wasn't enough emphasis under Miguel Ramirez on the final third, and we've seen that we have had our struggles. I think right now it's still a bit too early to properly assess whether or not that's going to improve. But this is where we're at, where we're missing chances from not exactly point blank range, but we really should be converting his chances. But I think 5 more games down the road, you'd ask me that question later on, and then I'll tell you whether or not I'm behind Latancio in terms of him prepping the squad for the final third.
There you go. JT, you got any comments?
Fair dinkum, Kieran. I mean, yeah, it's actually the whole point. It's like we won't even see till the end of the season, but like 5 games from here. Comments. Let's party. Let's get out there on Saturday. Upper Bowl's open. Let's reestablish the bank. Okay.
Right.
We got monkeys on our backs. Nah, we ain't got nothing on our backs. Check it out, man. There's going to be a fire truck on Mint Street spraying foam on people. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a ton of fun. Let's get out there. Upper Bowl, summertime. Let's take it. Smoky Mountain Rivalry. Someone wrote that in the comments. Smoky Mountain Rivalry. I love it. Come on over the hills, boys. We got something for you.
It's the Music City versus the Queen City.
JT from Air. No, I just don't think I could vote JT. But anyways, Sean.
Fair of what?
I mean, look, JT said it. We got to reestablish the bank on Saturday. I think it's a big one. So we know the importance of it in terms of standings. We know we dropped the last one at home. I mean, I'm looking forward to fans coming out, having that pregame fun, getting in there. Our supporter section is always rocking. Let's see that bleed over into the rest of the stadium. Upper Bowl, like we've got to get behind them for this one because it truly can change our entire season right here. Like this is the start of something. If we pick up 3 points here, I mean, it's a lot to get excited about. I think Latanzio's done a tremendous job. I think Jorge spelled it out pretty eloquently. I mean, everything you've seen, difficult situation, expansion club, change in manager, which, doesn't really happen. And so for him to be able to come in that situation and really quickly tidy up and see immediate improvements, like immediate. I think everybody always expects everything to change and get better. That's not realistic, but for us to have seen a number of areas of our game improve, that's huge. And for us, I mean, Houston, we saw almost every phase of the team improve. So look, we got to piece it all together. For me, excited about this quote unquote new depth. There's nothing new about it. These players have been with us, and he's showing that they've obviously got the quality to come in and have an impact. So it's good seeing a lot of these guys engaged, excited. There's a new energy. I think the way that they're a little bit more aggressive, the fitness level, you see it. So I don't think it'd be interesting to see if anybody had anything to complain about right now. But
well, with that being said, then has he earned the new gaffer get the next job next season? I guess, right?
It's too early for that.
Yeah, you got to play. We got games to play, man. You can't.
Yeah,
that's this business.
It's way too early,
right? Like that's just part of this business. If you lose every game here on out, like doesn't matter what we say right now. Like we all have expectations, and we all want to see us accomplish those. So
only way Latanzio would get the job right now if he goes in there and hijacks that Bernardeschi deal with Toronto and brings him here.
Yes.
then I'll say, yeah, bring him on for the rest of the season.
And I mean, that goes, and to segue kind of off of that, right? I mean, if we overachieved or underachieved with our expectations this year, I mean, again, that's kind of, I don't know how to
I answered this on a Chelsea podcast I just did recently, which my expectations have changed like 2 or 3 times, you know. Before the season started, I thought we would be a 7th to 10th team, right? Which, I mean, we're currently sitting 8th. Nick Kelly came out here and said that we're like fighting to, be a host a playoff game, which I was like, okay, like you're the president, you say that to me, it still wasn't realistic. Then Miguel came out and said that we were screwed. And you know what? Who are you going to listen to? The guy who's day-to-day with the players? So that changed my perspective. Okay, I was like, as long as we have a respectable season, right, which meant maybe 10th, right, to now back to where I originally was at the beginning of the season, anywhere from 7th to 10th. And I think this team has proven to be there.
Can we just achieve? Does it have to be an over or under? Like, can we just achieve?
No,
What is achieve, though? Achieve, is that playoff or no playoff?
No. Go back to the grade system. That is pass fail.
Oh no.
Called pass fail. Can we just this season? It's not A, B, C, D, or F. It's just pass fail. And
we're fans. We're gonna grade and we're gonna nitpick and we're gonna bitch until like we do against Houston when we win, and then we're happy for like 45 minutes. But then we talk about, well, you know, so and so could have done better. He could have scored there. So, you know, if he had only passed that one ball, but yet we still had the 3 points. You know,
I saw somebody said keep Quinn and send Bender to Charlotte Independence. I'm like, y'all are crazy, bro.
I know. I mean, that's it. So, and 1 or 2 more questions, then we're doing the drawing and shutting this down. So, where is our man Melo, man, and how does he change the look going forward? Jorge.
Our man Melo, I saw him like a week ago, and he said he was 2 to 3 weeks away from, getting back with the team. So we'll see, man. It's been very unfortunate because we don't know what Vinicius Melo could provide to the squad. Could he be that striker that maybe we're missing? Could he be a player similar to Swiderski, in my opinion, where he'll link up and likes to draw it back but can score as well? We just don't know. Unfortunately for him, his surgery that happened in Brazil, apparently it wasn't done properly, and that caused him to, his playing time with the team to not be there. And then when he was back with the team, he got injured again. So it's just been a series of unfortunate events for him. And so, I mean, I hope we see him soon. I'd really like to see what Melo could do.
Have you seen him and Victor in the same room together?
No, I've never seen them together.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there too. So anyways, all right. And then this one last comment, I had to start this, and I just wanted everybody's opinion on this, and this is determined on how the show goes later on in the rest of the season. Who's going to win the first trophy, Charlotte or Spurs?
Oh, definitely.
That's easy. That's definitely Charlotte.
That's like shouldn't even be a question.
Who did Spurs bring in this transfer window?
We brought in everybody.
Listen, the only way I see that happening is if it's Charlotte against Spurs in the Audi Cup final. Then I'll give it to y'all. Other than that, it'll be us.
But man, you know what?
We're talking San Antonio Spurs.
I was going to say, are we talking Indiana?
The only Spurs I acknowledge.
Yeah. I do it to myself. I swear I do. I do it. Hashtag freedom if you want to enter the drawer, and I give you like 2 more. I give you like 30 more seconds, and then we're gonna do this thing. And then also, if you're new to the show, we appreciate it if you hit the sub button for us. And yeah, see, I got people out there. Big talk from bankrupt Barca, man. Jorge's gonna have to be a Real Madrid fan soon.
Heck no, never, bro. I will support Barcelona in the 10th division before I support Real Madrid in my life.
Barcelona's going bankrupt, so let's see who's gonna win. 1 second here. All right. Share. Yep. All right. Hashtag freedom. You better guys hurry. Going once. Going twice. Oh.
Yeah. Come on.
I think Brian won last week, didn't he? He won recently, I'm pretty sure.
So, I call it. How much is he paying you on the side?
Hey, hold on. There's no one. Winners win. Okay, just know that.
You were the one over here excited about a 50% score saying it's good. Don't tell me winners win now.
Facts.
Yeah, David did win.
Look, that's what the teenagers say. Facts, right?
I can't re-roll this, man. There's just no way I can do that, right? It is what it is. All right. So with that being said, all right, you know how to find us, Brian, if you want to reach out. Kieran, man, tell people how they can find you.
Yeah, my channel is Queen City Soccer Report on YouTube. Also, I'm on Twitter at QC Soccer Report. So please check me out, give me a sub. And on the channel, I do match previews and match recaps, and also player transfer news surrounding Charlotte FC. So please check me out on that channel.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
That's it. Jorge?
You can find me at TopBin90 on all our socials, Real TopBin90 on TikTok, on our website, topbin90.com. And also, we're doing a giveaway. We're giving out 2 tickets to the Nashville game. And so if you guys want to enter, go follow TopBin90 and 7th Peak Marketing. So make sure you enter into that. I mean, and they're really good seats, too. I'm not sending you guys to the nosebleeds. So just to let you know.
He got the $21 seats. The
hey, all the seats in Bank of America Stadium are really good seats.
Fair.
That's right. Sean, man, how can people find you if they don't already know how to find you?
All my FC content on Charlotte FC _CFO. And then for all my other terrible takes on anything, you can find me at Sean _McIntosh.
There you go.
CFO. Y'all gotta realize this man is the first person to ever have this job ever. Because the job, I mean, seriously. Trailblazer.
Appreciate the love.
Yeah, no, honestly, Sean, you've been doing a great job, man. I know, like, people don't.
It doesn't go unnoticed, man.
Yeah, for sure. But like, from our perspective, I think you're doing a great job, man. And so we want to thank you for all your services, bro.
Appreciate y'all.
Let me anecdote that just real quick.
You know, people got to give you shit.
The last time I saw Sean, I was walking around the concourse, like I think it's probably around the 70th minute or something like that. And I was trying to get different shots of people doing different things. And he was coming near the sports section. I ran into him, and he was about to go deliver a new kit to some fan that something happened to their kit or something. It got messed up. And I was just like, "Hey, Sean, what are you doing?" He's like, "Listen, you know, he wasn't sending someone underneath him or anything like that. He was literally walking down there to the fan to replace a kit that got all jacked up somehow. And he was doing that during a game. So yeah, much love, man. Much respect.
Appreciate it. These comments are killing me.
Oh man, trust me. Only if you knew, brother. Only if you knew some of these comments. Anyways, and for us, you can find us at CLTFC Fan TV on all the socials. We do live shows on Wednesdays. We do fan interviews after the games. And if it's an away game, we try to do a watch along. But JT had a birthday, so we agreed to let him have some family time and that sort of stuff. And again, if you haven't already, hit that sub button for us. And I guess with that being said, we shall see y'all Saturday at the Foam Show. I'm excited about that. Girls, wear your white T-shirts.